Are you in the market for the world's best hard folding tonneau cover? Or are you just looking for a better way to store the gear in the back of your truck in a safe and secure way? Well, look no further than BAK Industries G2. Stay tuned to learn more. Hello and welcome back to In the Garage. Today we have a product from BAK Industries. It's their BAKFlip G2, and we're going to be installing it on a 2016 Sierra 1500. So with BAK, we actually have Chris Fleeman. How you doing, Chris?
Doing awesome, Steven. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for having us in the garage.
Yes, sir. Well, with that said, let's go and get this unpackaged and get on with the installation. Okay, so with the G2 and all of its hardware and rails and all that stuff included, all that has now been unboxed and it's on the table. Chris, before we go any further, what can you tell us about the G2 and what makes it stand out against the competition out there today?
Well, Steven, the G2 is America's #1 selling hard folding tonneau cover. Now, what does it do for you? It actually lets you use the bed of your truck to put your goods and your store stuff in it you want to keep dry and secure, but it also lets you use your truck for what you bought it for when you want to do that. So that's the nice thing about the hard folding cover. Now, one thing about our covers is all of our bottom surfaces are aluminum. Okay. Some of our competitors out there use different materials, but we all know when you have fasteners going into metal, that's the best option.
Well, very good. Well, let's go on over to the hardware now. What can you tell us about the red bag that's included, maybe some of what it includes, and maybe some of the new things you have going on for 2016?
Yeah, the red bag contains the install kit, so make sure you get that. If you don't, just give us a call and we'll get one overnighted to you. First thing you're gonna get is the clamps, the bumper pads, and we got a couple new things here. This here is our new drain tubes. If you'll notice, this is corrugated. The old ones were just a clear, straight tube. This here helps kinking of the tube, and also it helps hide any mold or whatnot that may grow in there. Awesome. Another thing you'll notice here, we've got these new clips, and we also have the new buckles. Now we include the buckles from the factory.
So I also notice over here we have the bulkhead seal, and then we have a few of the cab bumpers. What can you tell the guys at home, what are these going to help him do and help his truck do?
Yeah, the cab seal here will just help seal that front bulkhead of your truck to help water from getting into the bed of your truck. Okay. And the cab bumper seals here just help protect the cab of your truck.
That's great. That's good that you thought about that beforehand rather than after the fact when my cab's all scuffed up. So I appreciate y'all thinking ahead of the curve there and getting that done for us. And with that said, Chris, what are we going to need to do the installation as far as tonneau covers installed to the truck?
Well, Steven, I've already rounded up all the tools that we're going to need.
Oh, wow.
Here they are.
That looks easy enough.
9 16-inch wrench, Phillips head screwdriver.
Well, guys, that's good. So let's go and get this installed and show you how it's going to look. All right, guys, the first thing we're going to want to do is install the bulkhead seal. So, Chris, what are we going to need to do to make this installation as easy as possible?
Steven, first thing we want to do is prep the surface where we're going to apply the double-sided tape. Just take a little rubbing alcohol, acetone, rag, and just wipe this thing down and wipe it all the way across there. We're getting that good and clean.
Good to me. All right, so with that said, Chris, I know that in many modern trucks, this isn't going to be an issue. We can just install it as is. What about those guys with the older trucks? Are they going to have to consider any kind of different sealing options, or what's the case in those cases?
Yeah, on the new model GMs, all the front bulkheads are painted. If you did have an older model with a bed liner that goes over the top or possibly a bed cap, we would supply a secondary seal that's a thinner seal.
So Chris, for the guys at home, are we actually going to be measuring this from the bulkhead or from the tailgate?
On this particular model, you want to go to the tailgate. Okay. You want to line this up right at the edge, just to shy off of the back of the tailgate. Now, Steven, one thing to remember on 5.5 and 6 foot models, there'll be 3 clamps per side. And on 8 foot models, you'll have 4 clamps per side.
Okay.
Again, on the rear of the truck, you want to make sure this clamp goes as far to the back of the truck as you can get it.
Okay. All right, I think they're all snug, not tight, but snug. So.
All right, now one very important thing with our rails at this point here, what you want to do is, now that you got it snug, is just make sure you push down on this rail and give it a good slap. Now do that final half a turn on your ratchet. And you're ready to go.
Okay. Okay, so up next we have some integrated buckles that come in the package. What these are going to do, Chris, why don't you lend some insight on what these are going to help us do when they're installed?
What this will actually do is once it's fully installed, we've got these new straps that are now on the cover, and it'll just allow you to buckle it to the front of the truck so that way you can drive in this position here.
All right guys, so next step, it's very important. These are what we call elevator bolts, and they'll come in your hardware package, so make sure that you have these before you do your installation or finish up for the day. So what we're going to do, I'll show you how we build these. So we're going to take the elevator, we're going to take a rubber washer, and then we're going to feed it through the hole here on the top. So if you wonder what that was, this is where this is going to go. So feed it through the top there. And then what this is going to do, this is going to attach the cover to the rails, which is going to keep it safe and secure. So with that plugged into the top, we're going to look at the bottom and finish the rest of the construction here. One tip that you want to do though, when you flip this up, this will help you out a little bit I think too, is when you flip it up, try to configure the cover so that a lot of the weight is pushing on the bolt that you just put in. That's going to give us a little bit more pull through from our bolt here. So as you can see, we have more access to the threads now, whereas before it may not have been pushed all the way down. Since the cover's pushing down on it, we have more threads to work with. Okay, so the elevator bolts have both been installed on both sides. So what we're going to do now is unfold the cover, right, and then align it, make sure that it's all lined up and everything.
Yep, let's get this thing closed. And what you want to do is make sure the cover is kind of lined up good between both sides of the rails.
Okay.
Now, one thing to remember on this particular model is the tailgate will be closed first, and then the cover will close on top of the tailgate.
All right guys, so we now have the cover installed onto the bed. As you can see, what we're going to do now is focus on protecting our investment in our truck. So we have these cab bumpers that we're going to be installing onto the cover itself. That's going to protect the cab from any kind of scuffing that you'll get from the cover moving when you're moving down the road. So what can you tell us about this installation? What are we going to need to do before we apply these?
Well, first thing we want to do is use that rag with that cleaner that we used when we did the bulkhead seal, and we go ahead and clean this edge here.
Easy enough.
And what we want to do from here is kind of see where the actual cover is going to be resting on the cab. So that way we can get a reference point of where we need to place these. Now it comes with 3 different bumpers. So we want to place these on the GM models and about this area, same as we did on the bulkhead seal.
Okay guys, so we've got both of the sides now done. We have one in the center left to go. So what we did, we lifted up the cover, marked the center, and then we're going to apply this after that's done. So make sure that you mark the center, so this is going to be hitting right on the center, right where you need it. All right, so all that there's left to do is now install your drain pipe. So the cool thing about these is, as compared to the older ones, these are corrugated, so they're much more flexible than ever before. So what we'll do, we'll go and attach this to the drain pipe up top. Make sure that it's nice and secure. And then we'll simply feed it through. If you aim this more towards the cab of the truck, it tends to go in a little bit easier. So aim it towards the cab of the truck, and then just feed it through, making sure all the way that there's not gonna be any kinks in there. And as you feed this, you'll notice that as compared to the older pipe, this is just a much more premium solution. Okay, so the cover has been installed, guys, and as you can see, it looks fantastic. Covers the bed perfectly, it sits low, it's very low profile. Chris, with that said, let's give the guys at home a tutorial on how this is actually gonna work for them.
Steven, one thing to point out right quick is if you have the factory integrated tailgate lock, your cover's nice, tight, and secure at this moment here.
Okay.
All right, let's show you how this thing works. You know, earlier we were talking about you can keep your cargo in here, but yet at the same time you can use your truck for what it's intended to. Let's show you how that happens. To open each panel here, you have this little latch. You just pull the latch and open it. Now, a lot of times you're just going to want to travel with it in this position here. So with our new straps, you just clip these in here. So at this point, you can travel down the road if you would like. Now, what makes the BAKFlip is we have this one more fold here. You have your latch, Now you can pick the cover up here. Again, you're gonna let it rest against the rear window of your truck. We've already installed the cab bumpers. And when you do that, you have these prop rods here. And you just loosen your star nut, you slide this in, you kind of wedge this down, just tighten up your nut. Now the great thing about this, you see you almost have 100% of your truck bed, and also you have this here acting almost like a headache rack for your truck. So if you had cargo in here and you slammed on your brakes, now you're actually protecting the rear window of your truck.
All right guys, so the cover has been installed now. As you can see, it looks great. It really complements the looks, the already good looks of this truck. Chris, man, I appreciate you coming in today. It's been a pleasure.
Steven, thanks for having us in the garage.
Yes, sir. Guys at home, if you want more details on this product, check the description below where you can find all of that laid out, as well as a part number and even a dealer locator, so you can find this product at a dealer near you. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Performance Corner in the Garage.